Hey everybody, Dapper Dinosaur here for the Cambrian Bunny Awards. It's finally here, the first ever Cambrian Bunny Awards. We had our nomination almost exactly a month ago. I think it was like exactly 4 weeks ago to the day. That's what I'm pretty sure I planned out. But then again, I don't know. That's math, and I'm not super great at math, except when I have to do really complicated n-dimensional geometry in Blender, and then I do it really well. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, hey, Dapper, can you multiply these numbers? No. Hey, Dapper, can you do, like, some basic vector math in your head in 4 spatial dimensions? Yeah, sure. Let me get on that.
We call that calculitis.
Yeah, it's... I don't understand it. But anyway, before we really get into it, we had a $5 super chat from My Unfinished Journey who said, just got home from 4 weeks of orientation and training for my new job. Woohoo! Well, thank you very much for the super chat, and congratulations on the new job. I hope it treats you well. And... man, orientation is always so boring. 4 weeks of it has got to be rough. So, it's like the first day of class in college. It's like, just hand me the syllabus and let me leave. Because, like, I'm either going to read it or I'm not, and I'm not going to pay attention to you talking about it. So,
I teach on the first day.
Good.
I'm that guy.
Good. That's what I would want. All right, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about the Cambrian Bunny Awards. So for those of you who might not have seen the nomination stream, first of all, what are you doing? That was how you can vote. But voting is closed now, so we are where we are. We have 4 categories this year. We have worst argument, worst use of the English language, worst behaved, and then, to end it on a lighter note, we have best overall Young Earth Creationist. So, what we're going to do is we're going to reveal the runners-up first, and we're going to give our thoughts on those people. And then we're going to reveal the winner for the category. So, our first... let me double check these votes here. Okay, with 12 votes for worst argument, our runner-up is George Bond. So, who would like to talk about George Bond? Why was he nominated, guys?
George Bond was nominated for his blobs, his thermodynamic refuting blobs. Basically, his idea is that, yeah, the crust is super hot, but you've got these blobs that'll suck the heat down into the core where it can be safely disposed of. I understand, based on his friend McQueen, that these blobs have something to do with a margarita glass. I'm not completely sure what the
I feel like there's also like a paper towel tube.
Yeah,
in there somewhere too.
There was a tube and a glass.
Okay.
Yeah, if you put those two together, I think it somehow like suspends thermodynamics.
Oh, right. I forgot the high-tech, physics-defying technology of margarita glass plus paper towel tube. Now, does that work with a toilet paper tube too? Or is that, like, we're not sure about any of that?
That's a topic of ongoing research that they're hard at work on.
We're waiting for that next paper.
I think my understanding of the math is that the length of the tube matters.
Oh,
so
okay.
The shorter tube may not be as conductive thermally,
okay.
So it may not efficiently cool the crust.
Okay, we thought about this.
So you do have to figure that out.
There are those novelty giant margarita glasses that you can get for like an entire like table of 6 who for some reason want to share their drink, which I've never understood, but that's a thing. And things like industrial bubble wrap come wrapped onto cardboard tubes that are, like 6-7 feet long. Maybe we could get that together, and then the blobs would like just completely unravel the fabric of the universe, which would probably solve the heat problem.
It would solve all problems, in fact.
All right. By the way, we have a super sticker
Well,
from
if
Carrie
the
Bronson.
universe accelerates towards heat equilibrium, then there would be no problems because
Well,
there
that's
would
yeah.
be
Well, as we all know, if the universe ends in heat death, then apparently nothing ever matters at any smaller time scale than the ultimate fate of the universe. That's a favorite of many of our creationist friends. Although none of them were actually nominated for that. I always found that a confusing argument.
That is a bad argument. Although I can't think of a specific person I've run into in calendar year 2021 that used it.
Yeah, that's fair. But it is just bizarre because it's like, if the universe will end in heat death, then why do you care about being nice to your friends and family? Like, I don't know, because they exist now?
Not a creationist, but William Lane Craig uses that argument all the time.
Oh, there you go.
That's not. Oh.
All right, so,
Hey.
by the way, Carrie Bronson for $1.99 sent a wait for it super sticker. Thank you very much, Carrie Bronson. There's been some fun super stickers lately. I like the super stickers. But, so...
Right, so who's our runner-up?
That was our runner-up.
That was the runner-up. Bond was the runner-up.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're not even going through all of them.
No, we're not even going to talk about the guy in last place. Because, I mean, look, you came in last place in a worst argument competition.
Last.
Come on.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
So, yeah, that was George Bond nominated for the stunning argument that blobs of magma can somehow reverse the second law of thermodynamics. Which, spoiler alert, no, they cannot. No matter how many margarita glasses you use. All right, so George Bond had 12 points. Now votes. With 35 votes, the winner in a runaway is, you ready for it? It's Raw Matt. So Raw Matt, please, send an email. My channel address is public, and I will make sure that you get your personally labeled Cambrian bunny trophy in an email, because it's not a physical object. But you know what?
It's an NFT of a trophy.
I was going to say.
No. Here's what I'll do for you, Matt.
We had the same thought. Yep.
I will pack this as a nice, fancy 3D object, and then you can go 3D print it if you want to. You're going to have to do the work of converting it into an STL, though. I don't care.
Mint it.
No, I'm not minting.
Mint it as an NFT.
No. Mm-mm. There's no way.
And then take a screenshot. And then take a screenshot and send them the screenshot.
Okay, actually maybe.
Isn't Raw Matt a crypto bro too? I feel like he was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe he'll do the minting for you.
But I'll tell you what, Raw Matt, if you want to to have someone mint this, just tell you what, send me the money to mint it.
You're good.
Then I'll mint it, and then you can buy it from me for 20 Ethereum or something.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
So this argument, Deborah, what was the argument?
What wasn't the argument? So the thing with Raw Matt is that you can't pick one bad argument from Raw Matt, right? It's like because it's all insane. Is it that he's still insisting that evolution teaches that octopuses rode into Earth from comets? Is it
so this? I made this nomination. This was for a very specific, terrible argument having to do with radiometric dating.
Oh goodness!
This was
it his misunderstanding of half-lives?
It was the age of the oldest.
Oh yes, old uranium. Because what the heck does that mean?
And not just old uranium, but also the heavier elements sink to the core, and the lighter ones go up. So the ones that have decayed, they're lighter, so they're higher up. So that gives the appearance of lots of decay, when in reality they're just sinking according to their mass. They're just assorting according to their mass. And
through solid rock in the crust of the Earth.
I just had an idea. So
amazing.
The next time they come up with that, because they're thinking intuitively heavier is down, right? Well, have you ever had a box of nuts and you shake them up, and the Brazil nuts, the biggest ones, will rise to the top, right? Mm-hmm. The Brazil nut effect. It's a well-known thing. Maybe, right? Maybe because the uranium atoms are the biggest atoms, it's a Brazil nut effect. Just
no, they shake up to the top. Oh, there are earthquakes. So would earthquakes cause quote-unquote younger uranium up at the top?
Earthquakes. And I bet there were earthquakes during the flood. That caused the assortment of the atoms.
There you go. There you go, creationists. Free argument right there. Pro bono.
You're welcome.
we're here to help, guys.
We are.
We're nice like that. My goodness.
Creationist geneticists, call me. I got ideas for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We can do this all day. When you can just make up stuff, it's super easy.
It's true.
So easy.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I believe that you have been pointing out in some areas that there are better options than just created heterozygosity for how to get all the diversity, but creationists don't want to take you up on it.
Look, I will say, I saw this on Reddit. And the guy who said it got ragged on correctly. I'm assuming. I don't know who it is.
Person.
I saw this on Reddit. Somebody said, it's not created heterozygosity. No. It's created polyploidy.
Why is that not a better argument?
Here's the thing, aside from the fact that it's bat poop crazy,
right?
And there's no reason to think it's a thing, put that aside, it actually is a better argument. It makes the math work better.
That's the problems you point out there are, sure, there are problems, but they're just as big a problem with created heterozygosity. There's literally no reason to think it's there.
You're just starting with unfounded assumptions. Yeah. So if you're going to start with unfounded assumptions, at least start with unfounded assumptions that make your math easier.
Right.
Because created heterozygosity is not sufficient to do what it needs to do, generate all the diversity we see. But if Adam and Eve are like massively polyploid,
they're just both dodecaploid. No big deal.
Right. Then it's like easy to do.
You had me at unfounded assumptions. I'm in.
I mean, once we do that. But yeah, so raw Matt with his older uranium. So
the old uranium.
Here's the thing, right? You can't you can't tell how old an atom is.
An atom.
Impossible.
They do actually have a time that they came into being as an atom because at some point they were formed somewhere, right? But there's no way to measure that. An atom doesn't have a measurable age. It just exists. And that's it.
Think that like when we do radiometric dating, we're like sorting like when we're doing uranium lead dating, are we sorting the uranium atoms by how old they are?
Yeah, you got to look for the ones that are still in diapers. You put them near the beginning of the line. And the ones that have like walkers and canes, you put them at the end of the line.
Yeah, the ones that have like acne.
The ones that have the big brow ridges go at the end, right?
Because those never stop, even though they actually do stop growing at adulthood.
And the nose and the ears, same thing. They never stop. So you put the ones with the big, they go at the end.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you date your uranium atoms.
Yeah.
Well, that's a worthy winner, I think, for that one.
And again, this isn't just some slip of the tongue. He goes. Raw Matt does not make slip of the tongues. To his credit.
Oh, he's very deliberate.
He goes with confidence. He runs headlong in. No hesitation.
There's a half-hour video on this. On this.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's always crazy to me because he will go off in some completely random direction that not even other creationists would ever take seriously. And he will be so confident. But then again, I mean, this is the guy who did seriously consider that maybe eating was optional. So, I mean,
it's true.
What can we expect?
Have you ever tried it? I mean, have you ever met anyone who's not eaten?
No, I've never actually met someone who's not eaten because
there you go.
That person would be dead. Well, here's a fun little experiment you can do. You can actually measure the mass difference between the air you inhale and the air you exhale. It turns out the air you inhale is lighter than the air you exhale. That mass is coming from your body. If you keep breathing and not adding extra mass, somehow, guess what? You're going to do this thing called losing weight. You can't do that forever.
So I don't need to diet anymore? I can just breathe?
Awesome. Well, as long as you don't also add more mass to your body, which eating would do. So yeah, you do have to diet. That's the little thing there. Because yeah, the fact is, most of the weight that you lose in any given period of weight loss is actually coming from your breath. Like, it's not coming from like when you go to the bathroom. That's minuscule compared to how much you breathe out. Because basically, your metabolism is just a slow burning fire. It gives off excess carbon, and it takes in oxygen. So basically, you're converting various chemicals into carbon dioxide.
Funny thing, I was just looking for the link to that original video from Raw Matt. It is gone.
Oh, shocker!
It redirects to his main channel.
Well, can we talk?
Creation channel.
So this is
the actual video doesn't appear to be there.
This is more of a bad behavior than a bad argument. But you know what, Raw Matt's there's quite a lot to unpack about Raw Matt. So can we talk about the fact that he likes to stealth edit his videos when he's been called out so hard that even he can't, keep that bit up with a straight face. So numerous times he's gone into a video where he made just horrendous mistakes, and he's been called out on it by numerous sides, and he'll just trim that bit of the video out. Sorry, trim that bit of the video out. Just never say anything. No corrections issued. No apologies. Nothing. If you came to that video afterwards, you wouldn't even know it was there. Helpfully, a friend of this channel, and as well as friend of the Jackson Wheat channel, Nestle20, likes to stay on top of Rawmat's output and download virtually every one of his videos so he can check them for stealth edits later. And there's a lot of stealth edits. Joshua Kadovit, says that Rawmat's video was sucked into the void with a capital V. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm looking.
That's the best thing for it.
I'm looking for this video, and I mean, it's possible it's there. I am looking for it, and I am not finding it. And probably there somewhere, I would think. I was really proud of it. Let's see, this was September, so it's got to be around there. I should be able to find this. I mean, this doesn't matter, but it should be there.
All right, and we have a $4.99 super chat from Vandali1998 who says, "Here is money for a stage for next year's awards. Wish I could listen, but scheduling conflicts and Brainbug and me are discussing wing evolution tonight." Well, thank you. I do think it's going to take a little bit more than $5 to really get a stage put together, but hey, every bit helps. So, and hey, who knows? Maybe in a year it would actually be feasible to do like big in-person events. Wouldn't that be a wild thing if big in-person things could be a thing again?
It'll never catch on.
No.
It should be soon.
I mean, look, I've already said, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to a movie theater. Like,
I've already done that. I just really
I've done it. I've done it.
I haven't. I don't. Look, movie theaters are expensive and crowded, and I don't get that much better of an experience than when I'm at home. But anyway, that's completely off topic. So, I think we basically covered Rawmat, known academic fraud.
I think so.
Let's see. Let's go on to worst use of the English language. Let's see. Our runner-up for this is...
I think I know how this is going to go.
Yeah, I think you do too. Our runner-up for this is Creation Ministries International, just as a whole. The whole organization. Which, in case you guys don't know, Creation Ministries International is the organization that split from Answers in Genesis back when Answers in Genesis was still headquartered in Australia, but Ken Ham was living it up in America. And that breakup involved things like Ken Ham's secretary being accused of being a demon-possessed necrophiliac witch. Because that's a normal thing to just say about people.
How dare you call me a witch?
Yeah. Like, wow. So to call that a vitriolic breakup would be a bit of an understatement. That was insane.
Feeling the love of Christ just wafting off of that.
So amazing. So anyway, CMI, who, by the way, not as big a dicks as AIG overall, because as we all know, AIG are a sack of dicks because they currently still have a copyright claim on one of my videos that is very much under fair use and doesn't even use the entirety of their video because many of their videos include pointless extended waffles about nothing, and I cut those out. Like, you don't need...
AIG is also anti-vax, whereas the CMI people have been vehemently pro-vax.
Yeah. So basically...
And shocked when their fans are anti-vax. How could they reject science? I don't know.
I don't understand why so many CMI fans are just pseudoscience nuts. Like, how could this have happened?
Couldn't have imagined. Would never thought.
And when it's pointed out to them, I love the complete lack of self-awareness. Like, what do you mean? We're not teaching anyone anything against science. Yeah, okay. Sure, buddy.
Sure, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so they butchered the definition of evolution. Just left and right. Just cannot define that word correctly.
I mean, if they defined it correctly, they would have to admit they believe in it. So...
therein lies the rub.
Yeah. It turns out that when you actually believe in evolution, you just think that there's less of it, but faster than most other people do. You can't really define it correctly because then it sounds like you believe in evolution. Because spoiler alerts,
sounds like
you
when you
do.
Describe what happens in your theory. Sure sounds a lot like evolution.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, actually, that same thing came up today when I was doing some script writing, where someone was talking about how the panda's thumb is a wonderful evidence of design. It's like, yeah, okay, but you think all bears share a common ancestry, and literally only one bear species has this. So for it to be a design, all bears would have had to have it, and then all but one species just lost it for some reason? Why did they do that?
Genetic entropy.
Oh, there you go. They just all independently genetic entropy their thumbs away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The exact same trait, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, he was talking about how homoplasy makes it virtually impossible to have a nested hierarchy.
Yeah.
Which, no, it doesn't. But
Yeah,
even if it did in a way that made sense, where like actual, like, what would otherwise be considered homologous features were just found in widely spaced organisms where it wouldn't be expected. God had this design for a thumb in monkeys. I don't know if you know about monkeys. They're a group of organisms. They're prominent in many places in the world, basically everywhere at this point, because they're actually one of the most numerous in terms of individual members of the group. So yeah. And they have an even better thumb design than the panda. And if God was going to design panda thumbs anyway, why not just give them monkey hands? What would be the problem?
Give them that little stubby thing. It's actually...
Yeah, it's a wrist bone.
It's not... Yeah, right.
Yeah, why
do that? That's mean.
Yeah, it's really weird. Anyway, Mark Baker for $4.99 says, "Are you aware the Bible mentions pterosaurs as fiery serpents?" No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm aware of it mentioning fiery serpents, but there's pterosaurs are neither serpents nor is there any reason to think they're fiery. So it's, I mean, look, it's kind of like saying, "Hey, did you know that the Bible references, I don't know, computers when it talks about the Ark of the Covenant?" It's like, no, it doesn't, because there's no way you could reasonably construe those two things as the same. But yeah, no, the Bible doesn't talk about pterosaurs. Or at least, how about this? Nothing in the Bible can be unambiguously interpreted as even being likely a reference to pterosaurs. I guess I can't say for certain that nothing in the Bible is ever talking about them. There are words in the Bible that we don't actually know the correct translation of in Hebrew because, well, Hebrew died out as a living language a while ago, and even though it was always used as liturgical language by Jews, they didn't keep a complete dictionary of every word in the Bible along with a definition. So, what are you gonna do?
Hey, by the way, I just want to say I was able to find that raw mat video. I just misremembered the title. I was able to find it.
Okay, so it wasn't taken down.
Than I thought. No, it was shorter than I thought. I thought it was like 20 minutes long or 30 minutes long. It was like 6 minutes.
Maybe it was 20 or 30 minutes, and now it's 6 or 7 minutes, because that's the thing raw mat would do.
Anyway, it's there. I put the link in the chat for everybody if you want
awesome.
it. It's called Why Radiometric Dating Fails. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that it? No, it was called Radiometric Dating Solved. That's the one. And now it's 5.5 minutes long. So I thought it was the other one, right? Why Radiometric Dating Fails, which is 26 minutes. It was not that one. It was Radiometric Dating Solved, which is 5.5 minutes long. And that's the one with the amazing heavy uranium. And
that is now a pinned chat. So anyone...
So that's in there. If anyone wants that, there's your winner.
Feel free after this, of course, to check that out. Let's see. All right, so I think have we hammered home CMI's weirdness?
They're so bad.
Yeah.
With the evolution, I just want to say they had the nerve to write this whole article about coronavirus, saying, "Is SARS coronavirus 2 evolving?" No, it's just mutating, and its alleles are changing over time, but it's not evolving.
It's failing forward. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, Dapper, are you cooking some eggs? No, I'm just putting some eggs in a hot pan with a little bit of oil on the bottom. I'm definitely not cooking eggs.
Definitely not cooking.
So what you doing? I'm making them hot.
With the intention to consume them.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat them later, but they're definitely not gonna be cooked. You're gonna denature all those proteins and the egg whites and whatnot are gonna get hard, right? Yep, but that's not cooking. For it to be cooking, there would have to be some creme fraiche.
You'd have to add
arbitrary
cheese.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You have to add de novo ingredients in order for it to count as cooking.
But then when I do that, I just say that those ingredients don't count because they're only spices. So I'm never actually cooking.
It's not actually an ingredient. It's not a food. It's
right. It's always a post hoc reason why. No, this time it doesn't count. My Unfinished Journey for $2 says AIGS. Thank you. No, normally I would drink for that, and I mean I do have a water here, but I'm not drinking alcohol today. So, for one thing, I'm out, and for two, I don't really want to. Our winner. So, let's see. CMI was in second place with 7 votes. Our winner has 43 votes. And it's Raw Matt again. So, Raw Matt, congratulations. Not only are you the first winner of a Cambrian Bunny Award, you're the first one to win 2 times, in a single year, which is impressive. So, again,
Amazing.
you can get
that he's won 100% of the categories he was nominated for.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you're
Clean sweep.
2 for 2, buddy. So, slow clap in the chat.
He's not going to win the 4th one. We can be sure of that.
Was he nominated for the 4th one? No, he wasn't.
Best overall.
Best overall. No, he was not even. Yeah, definitely not that one. Okay, so where to even begin with Raw Matt's use of the English language? I'll just say this.
There are books that don't have sentences. There are books that have words, but if you read the paragraph, there are phrases with periods at the end, but they're not all sentences.
Yep.
It's like one of those scripts written by AI that's just like kinda,
It is. Look, there are sentences that basically just say things. They'll just say things like, "The ones evolutionists use to prove the theory," and it's like, what?
We'll just get a book.
What? Oh yeah, just read some.
While we're here.
So
let's see.
It's hard to comprehend this, and I'll be honest. If I were, in a school setting, and a student came to me with this, and they were like, "Hey, this is the paper I'm writing. Can you proofread it?" I would say, "Okay. You 1 need a remedial English class immediately, and 2, you might have a legitimate learning disability, and maybe you actually need medical attention." Because most people, while they might not have great style and their punctuation might be off, if you just read out the individual words that they say, it turns into something that makes sense. Raw Matt isn't at that point. Raw Matt will vomit words onto a page that don't actually turn into ideas when you read them out. I'm not trying to make fun of pathological problems with reading and writing, because that's a real thing. But also, people who have those problems tend not to parade it around. They tend to do things like hire editors who aren't weird heroin addicts from Tasmania. Or,
I got that reference.
Yeah. Well, so, in case anyone doesn't know, yes, at least 1 or 2 of their books has an actual heroin addict from Tasmania listed as the editor under his online moniker.
Well, I mean, the bigger problem is that said editor is like a genuinely awful person who just makes death threats and homophobic videos about people he doesn't like.
Like
so
me.
That's the bigger problem.
As one
and
does.
Also, he's not qualified to edit books because this got through an editor. Can I just read a sentence here?
Please do.
Let's see.
Actually, can I make you the big guy? Yeah, I can.
You don't need to. All right, fine. All right.
We're getting your low res camera on full screen.
There we go.
Is this low res? Not that.
That's a little bit low res.
Well,
just get on with it.
This isn't science, people. Comma. This is a game of. No, wait, that's not the right sentence. Hang on a second.
Dang, you're killing us.
Hang on. I'm killing you. Just take me off the big camera.
Okay. So yeah, Raw Matt is just it's kind of amazing, honestly. All right. So let's take a look at worst behaved.
This is a category I was really interested in.
Wait. I found a sentence. So I just want to quote to all of you.
Now, is this a sentence or is this a quote sentence?
This is a sentence.
Right. It begins with a capital letter, it ends with a period.
It just
Okay, here it is.
Ready? Even in this study. Even in this study. Period.
Words to live by.
Man. Yeah, I mean, what else is there?
Missing a couple parts of a sentence.
Just a few.
That's kind of like when your 4-year-old tells you a story, you know, and it's like none of the pieces they're telling you
Oh,
are connected to any of the
oh,
other pieces.
I got
You
it.
know?
I got another good one, and this is bonus. This is bonus. He consulted a thesaurus. Ready?
Ooh.
Okay. So this is capital T. To conclude, semicolon, capital Y. You see, comma, because of their disdain for such fast clocks and young ages obtained. Period.
What? What is happening? Oh,
To conclude, semicolon, you see, because of their disdain for such fast clocks and young ages obtained. In the book, right there. This is on page 86. This is on page 86 of this.
This is amazing.
The only way I can see that happening is if he's like doing like a voice to text thing and not like going back and editing it at all, you know?
Yeah, that could be. But then again, you can't get semicolons in text-to-speech unless you say things like semicolon. And I cannot imagine Raw Matt being careful enough with text-to-speech to actually say out the punctuation he wants. And Star Runner for $2 says, smash that like button, which, yes, please do, guys. Honestly, we've been getting great likes and views and stuff on this. So, and of course, Vishanti comes in with KJV get title, which, yeah, if Kent's dissertation were eligible for this, it might win. I don't know if you guys saw much of my read-through of that, but I'm now one of the few human beings who can honestly say, I've read all of Kent Hovind's dissertation. You're in that group too, Dad? Yeah, I
am in that rarefied air. I'm in that club.
Amazing in all of the wrong ways. This is like the Room of dissertations. Right? This is like, if you've seen The Room, which, by the way, go see The Room. It's a fascinating experience. There's a scene where you get someone describing like how someone was severely beaten and ended up in the hospital, and the guy who's hearing the story just says, "Ha ha, what a story, Mark." And that's the scene. That's how Kent Hovind's dissertation feels. It'll just randomly go into like World War II atrocities and then switch to poetry for no reason, and then like ancient Babylon, and then it'll be like, and this is my chapter on the age of the earth. And you're just like, what is happening? None of this makes sense. So yeah, if that qualified, it would definitely win. But unfortunately, it didn't, because it's several decades old, and we're trying to keep it to the calendar year in question, which is the previous one. So, oh hey, Sal's here. Hey Sal. Sal has a stream up that I missed because I was also doing a show. I'm gonna have to go back and see that one. Let's see. So that was Worst Behaved. Oh no, we didn't do Worst Behaved. That was Worst Use of English Language. Worst Behaved.
That was Worst Use of Language.
Okay. Worst Behaved.
Worst Behaved is next. Yeah.
Yes. So anyone want to take a guess as to who our runner-up is? With 16 votes.
So we had the nominees were.
Oh no! Don't say the nominees.
Oh.
No, we can't say the nominees.
Well, then how can I guess who the runner-up is if I can't say the nominees?
We're trying to just ignore anyone who didn't even come in second.
Okay.
But yeah, it did say Rob Carter. It's Rob Carter, SFT, and Kent Hovind. Yeah, Monkey for Banana is our runner-up.
I think Monkey for Banana was the runner-up.
I'm gonna go with Monkey for Banana. Mm-hmm. That's my guess.
Yeah, so Monkey for Banana is a strange childlike entity who likes to occasionally go on like solid 48-hour like rage fests in comments and community posts and emails, followed by like trying to cozy up to the people that he's just been abusing and like verbally assaulting for 2 straight days nonstop.
Occasionally threatening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are threats of physical violence. There's
sexism. Homophobia.
And I would like to say it's just casual sexism. No, it's aggressive sexism. Like, it's not even casual at this point. It's like, no, just... Yeah. It's kind of amazing, honestly. And actually, for that reason, most of the creationists whom I have some respect for have very much distanced themselves from Monkey for Banana. Sal says, have I won any Bunny Awards yet? So, Sal, because the only category we could reasonably nominate you for was best overall, and because we already put you on the S tier list last year, we kind of felt like it would be unfair and we had to give other people a chance. So
We're trying to go like an every other year sort of thing.
Basically, I kind of counted that as like you having more or less won the award last year for best overall. So we got to let other people in on the fun.
So you're saying no Raw Mat nominations next year?
At least not for
those
worst
categories.
Argument or worst use of the English.
He could still be worst behaved,
or best overall.
Matt, you got a tall hill to climb there, buddy, but you can do it. I believe. No, I don't. What am I talking about? I don't believe in Raw Mat at all.
Nowhere to go but up.
That's true. You can't get much worse. Well,
that's false.
Okay.
There's
that's
plenty of room to go.
There's
fine.
And I say that because of who actually won, which we're not going to quite get to, but this person is someone who I thought I had reached the bottom of the barrel with him probably a couple dozen times just in the last few months, and I was always wrong every single time. It just keeps getting worse.
Keep going.
But so are there any specific instances from Monkey for Banana that we want to mention?
I appreciate the time he cussed out I think it was Atheist Junior is who he challenged to a debate and cussed him out in words I won't repeat on the air, but it involves some sexism / toxic masculinity, I believe / threats of violence, if I recall the comment correctly. There was the other time,
the holy trinity of being an asshole.
There was the other one that I recall where there was some team dodgeball thing, and somebody commented that our mutual friend Gutsa Gibbon is she can't be on team dodgeball, she has to be the cheerleader, and he hearted that comment.
Of course.
So that's cool. Just go with that sexism.
Now,
just lean right into it.
I forget, of the people identified with team dodgeball, and I only point this out because this is something that our Monkey for Banana thinks is a big deal, including him. Who's the one with the most views and subscribers out of that whole group, including Monkey for Banana and his buddies?
Yeah, I think it's Gutsa Gibbon, if I remember correctly.
By a fair margin.
Yeah, I believe that is.
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some pretty good cheerleading, I guess.
So.
I have to say, it's weird because I've interacted with this gentleman quite a bit, and I've seen sufficient evidence of everything you're saying. I've seen screenshots. I've seen it. Every single time he's talked to me, he has been polite and nice and understanding and just the coolest guy. And so, like, I see that, and then I see this, like, rage-fueled, red hat wearing, just torch bearing, like, what is going on?
Right? Well, it's never when you're talking to him. I've spoken to him on a number of occasions, probably never again after the last time we spoke. But, it's always nice chatting, but then it's afterwards that the anger comes out, and that's when it gets fun.
Yeah, that's why I say he goes on like 2-day long comment and email rants. He doesn't do it on
those
air.
Comment threads.
Yeah, he's got a very calculated in-person type attitude, part of which might have something to do with the fact that he was a used car salesman. For real. It's no longer just a joke we tell. It's the truth.
Literally true.
Yeah, which we've been calling him a slimy used car salesman for a while, and it turns out that was just literally accurate. It's
way too on the nose.
Impossible to satire.
That's a wonderful.
Immune to satire.
Every once in a while, we have wonderful miracles like that one. Or remember that time that Raw Matt left his draft for a quote-unquote paper available for comments on Google Docs, and then just shared anyone with this link can comment link out into the public, and it was right around Christmas, and so we got our own little Christmas miracle. And so by the end of the weekend, none of his original paper was left. It was all just comments and corrections the whole way through.
It was all edited in Google Docs, and if you're familiar with Google Docs, when you suggest changes in reviewing mode, it changes the color, and every user gets a unique color. So the document started off just all black and white, And I will say, was it PLOS? He said he submitted it to public library. Wasn't it like PLOS biology or something?
I don't think it had the logo, but I do think
but it had the
I think it had the wording.
The actual
maybe
thing.
he did.
I think I might have it. Give me a second to look it up because I
okay.
Because I have the original with the DOI and everything.
Oh, Carrie Bronson says maybe
and
next year another category, Academy Choice for the one you actually like, which again Sal would be a shoo-in for. I think that's basically the same as best overall.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm looking at it. He says PLOS Biology at the top, and then he has in the corner of his little header, he has the PLOS logo. That's Public Library of Science for people who don't know. And then below that, it said PLOS Biol, which is the abbreviation for PLOS Biology, and then RAWMAT, and then copyright August 6, 2020, as though it was actually published, and right below that, a DOI number. So there's that fraud we're talking about, where he's claiming to be published in a journal where he was not actually.
Didn't he later say that he didn't technically claim to be published by it?
Yeah, he did, because he's too stupid to realize. Well, actually, I don't think he's too stupid to realize what he did. I think he's just sufficiently dishonest, and he thinks
and we can just see.
You know what? Screen share it. Go for it.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
let's see. Was he claiming he was published or not? Let's find out.
Yeah.
You tell me.
And the thing is that this is connected to our runner-up here, Monkey for Banana, because they're attached to the hip. They do everything together.
Package deal.
Yeah. You don't get one without the other. Oh, let me actually do my job here and add this to the stream like a non-idiot.
You tell me.
Yeah.
Do you think he was claiming he was published or not? You tell me.
Yeah.
If I saw that in any other context, I would assume I was reading like some very poorly draft of a paper, some weird kind of copying thing. Yeah.
Now,
right, like the preprints that they put up, that the authors put up, that are not formatted. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like that.
But as far as I know, this was what he submitted, because I do believe that he actually submitted this. And here's the thing. You have to even be considered for publication in anything that you ever want to publish in, you have to at least follow the format guidelines. And I can guarantee you that center-aligned text doesn't follow the style guideline for PLOS. I promise. That's not how anything works. Also, why does...
two references. There are two references.
Wow. And also, his reference page has multiple fonts and sizes for some reason. Or is it the same font?
These are smaller than this.
Yeah.
And this is larger than this.
But I think it might be the same font the whole way. So there's at least that. But yeah, this is bonkers.
We could spend 3 hours going through this, because this is an amazing artifact.
A treasure trove.
Yeah.
It is.
Also, I believe I looked at this, and some of the things that he... Oh, no, it wasn't this. It was a blog post that he made about mammal evolution. And some of the sources he cited didn't exist. Like, he had cited, like, a Jeanson et al. 2016, but the only publication that Jeanson made in that year was his solo book. And I don't think that RawMat knows what et al. Means. I don't think he knows that it's, like, short for Latin for and others. Oh, and he misspelled references, apparently, which I missed.
Tell me he said such and such et al. And there was no other person.
That's exactly what happened. It was just Jeanson. He was the sole author on the cited work. Because RawMat doesn't know what et al. Means. He just thinks it's a thing you put on citations to make them fancy.
Every time I've seen a citation, it's always this et al. Guy.
Yeah, that guy must... It's like Ibid. He and Ibid, they just got a corner on citations, man. They must have written everything.
They're prolific. Every field.
By the way, if you guys are reading a paper and you don't know, because if you don't read a lot of papers, you might not, Ibid just means the citation is the same as above, and you go up to where the Ibids stop, and you get an actual citation, and that's the citation for the following list. You get that in, like, endnotes or footnotes. So
you don't cite the same thing 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
You just say, here's the thing, and then
IBID, period. But you can tell if a student has perhaps not actually checked on the citations if a chain of citations just starts with that. It's just like, curious. Which, that happens. Right. It does. Look.
So did we award... So did we make... Oh, we didn't get to
we
the
haven't
actual winner
gotten.
yet.
Yeah, no,
we
yeah.
haven't
No,
said the winner
we
yet.
were just
Yeah.
okay.
But so the thing is, I've actually seen that because like, look, I haven't taught any college classes, but I've had lots of college kids, especially when I was in college, say, "Hey, can you look over my paper?" And it's like, "So what'd you cite here?" It's like, I don't know. That was a citation that was in my textbook or whatever. It's like,
Oh, no.
first, that's not how you do citations, and second, even if it is how you're going to do citations, you should learn what this thing means, because at least cover your tracks well, right? Like,
if you're gonna cheat, have some professionalism and cheat.
right.
Well.
And look, here's the thing. I get it that you're not going to look up every single thing you probably should for all of your undergrad classes that you probably don't care that much about. I get it. You should, but I get it. But like, yeah, like Jordan said, have some self-respect about it.
Some self. I mean, look, he broke the cardinal rule that everybody knows twice in the first 2 pages of that by not just citing but screenshotting Wikipedia.
Oof.
You start at Wikipedia, look at what Wikipedia
Go
cites,
to the
then go
Right,
there.
yeah.
Come on.
Look, the thing is, Wikipedia is actually a really great way to find some good resources because they have a citation section.
You go to their references and you go down the rabbit hole until you get to a peer-reviewed source for the claim.
Mm-hmm.
And if you click on the reference that Wikipedia uses and you keep going to that one, and then you see what they reference, and if you can't get to a peer-reviewed source, guess what? You can't use that claim.
Don't do it. Or if you're doing history, a primary source that helps. That works too.
No, yeah, right. I'm talking for
For science.
life sciences.
Yeah. Which, by the way, one of the reasons why science and history aren't the same thing. This is actually a debate I've had not that long ago. Well, I don't know about a debate, but a disagreement where I've had people trying to tell me that history is a science. It's like, no, it is its own rigorous field, but it has different methods for a reason.
It's a rigorous scholarly pursuit.
Right, but it's not strictly science.
Tacos or a sandwich?
I'm not going to really disagree, but I'm going to say
Get out.
that are they an open-faced sandwich because they only have one piece of bread?
Is a hot dog all right, we're not going to do this now.
Okay. Yeah, that's a different award show.
Ugly German Truths, by the way, says the German word for ibid is ebenda, which I probably butchered because I'm horrible at German, meaning same place or right there. Nice. I like that. Sorry. So now our runner-up for Worst Behaved was Monkey for Banana with 16 votes. Our winner had 51 votes. And of course, it is the one, the only Kent Hovind. Because no one else that I know of in the world of young Earth creationism was convicted of abusing his wife last year. So
there you go. There's your winner. Worst Behaved.
It's hard to compete with an actual conviction for a serious crime.
Right, yeah. when it comes to actual battery and domestic assault, yeah, that's about as bad as it's likely going to get, short of actual murder.
In retrospect, a closer runner-up would have been the myriad anti-vax young earthers. There's plenty to pick from.
But
there would have been a closer.
Our actual runner-up is an anti-vaxxer. It's actually been recently confirmed that we actually not currently vaccinated. That was, or at least not vaccinated as of a few days ago.
Potentially unintentionally, slipped at some point, but that was
right.
Yeah. So we didn't talk about it because it wasn't the reason for the nomination, but it turns out he does count for the anti-vaxxer category.
That's true. Fair point.
So does our actual winner, also an anti-vaxxer.
True.
Has been
COVID denier and all the rest. Yep.
Now his COVID denial is the quote unquote soft kind, where he's like, "Oh, there's a disease, which is basically a cold." It's like,
yeah, basically. I mean,
well, why are all those extra people dying?
He probably also thinks it. Let's be honest. He probably also thinks it's a bioweapon from the globalists or something. He
potentially, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks it's a cold and also a bioweapon simultaneously at the same time.
That's not a good bioweapon.
That's the real
trick. Just a cold. That's stupid.
I mean,
that would be.
Yeah, but it's Kent Hovind. This is the man who thinks that a giant comet hitting the Earth would make it colder. Because ice is cold. That's the logic here.
Ice is made of cold. If you add ice, it's like adding ice to a drink. It's the same thing.
Right. It's exactly the
Exactly
same.
the same.
You don't have to worry about things like potential energy or shock heating or none of that. That's all just made up nonsense.
He also broke my brain. He also broke my brain with the DNA with reproduction. He thinks that, and we have this on video, him saying this, that during reproduction, you get half a DNA strand from mom and half from dad, and they wind together to form a double helix.
like mating snakes. They just
right. That's how what Kent thinks happens. We have this on video. I've seen the video, and it broke my brain.
He also
there's no way an adult human thinks that,
and yet
Kent continues to exist.
And as I recall, that video was him like teaching a bunch of school kids, right?
So that was from his Creation Science Evangelism 101 quote unquote class, which he claims was accepted for credit at a few Christian universities.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
one of the reasons why I'm a little bit harsher than, say, Jonathan Swamidas when it comes to the idea of labeling or discrediting young Earth creationists schools. I don't think they should be overall unaccredited, but I do think they should have their ability to issue science degrees completely revoked.
If you're teaching young Earth, you are clearly not like teaching accurate physics, chemistry, and biology.
It's the same as having a flat Earth college, honestly. When maybe your degree in like French literature from the Flat Earth U is fine. Okay, but your degree in geography sure isn't. It can't be.
I'm trying to think of like, I was like thinking through my coursework as a mechanical engineer, and like most of that you could probably get through all right, but there's some things that you're either going to ignore. You'd have to be very careful at what you included and not.
Lots of compartmentalization.
I could imagine it would depend on the type of engineer, because if you're doing anything involving thermodynamics, that's all out the window.
Well, to be fair, because we have creationists in the chat who I know definitely understands thermodynamics and doesn't subscribe to that, you could maybe weave your way around, right?
But what's the solution for the heat problem?
Different in the past.
Look, that's a different
miracles.
There you go.
Don't worry about that.
Hey, you know what? Miracles is probably the best explanation that they're going to come up with, because there is no scientific option. So,
anyways,
okay.
Anyway,
so Kent wins that category.
Yes, Kent wins that by a land mile.
Genuinely
or a mile
person.
By a land mile, as opposed to a nautical mile.
Hey, nautical miles are different. They're not the same as land miles.
Different.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey! This is science. He won by a kilometer.
Yeah, but Kent doesn't use the metric system because he loves science. Which, by the way,
I'm going to be in the corner crying. I can't deal with
the metric system is overall better for most activities, but I don't think that the imperial system is as bad as most people make it out to be, because they always base it on like it's got all these weird conversion units. Like, yeah, but no one converts between those units. If I'm measuring in miles and I need a partial mile, I don't use feet. I use decimal miles. Like, it's 3.2 miles. I'm not sitting here like, okay, so if 0.2 miles and then that's so 10% of a mile is 508. Like, I'm not doing that. No one does that. And also, I actually prefer it for cooking, because the cooking type measurements that it uses are actually measurements that were created to be convenient amounts to cook for humans to eat. That's why they were created in those amounts.
That's fair.
So, yeah, I think it's better for cooking.
Still annoys me.
I use metric pretty much exclusively, except if I'm doing like a teaspoon of something. Like, maybe
even for cooking,
little bits,
even
but
for
just
cooking.
Tiny bits. But
you don't want to use like 3.2 grams.
I mean, I have a scale that does that for my yeast.
Just use 3 grams. Just use 3 grams.
Yeah, but
no,
then the
because I
want to
have I want to have a consistent amount of yeast in my bread, Dan. Like, I can't.
Although yeast is delicious, over yeasting is not as big a problem as under yeasting. I'm just gonna put that out there. Because yeast are basically tiny mushrooms. They're delicious.
I realized yesterday. Well, no. See, I need to push back on that, because yeast are in a completely different group from mushrooms.
That's true.
They are completely.
This was not
Ascomycetes versus Basidiomycetes. They are completely different.
My statement was not intended as a statement about like actual fungal like phylogenetics.
Alternative facts.
Yes.
Dapper, anti-science.
There you go.
Dapper is anti-breaking. Anti-science.
Anti-science. All right, so we have for best overall. So this one was actually our only close category. In every other category, there was a runaway winner. It was also our least voted on category by a long shot. So our runner-up, and I actually had to double check because, yeah, okay. So our runner-up for best overall was David McQueen, which I believe, yeah, there you go. He was nominated for 2 areas, and he won one of them, so congratulations.
Multiple
Well, no, he didn't win.
nominations.
Actually, he was the runner-up, so he didn't win anything. But McQueen, you were runner-up with 15 votes. So who nominated McQueen? And
I nominated.
why was McQueen in the running for best overall creationist?
You know, he seems like just such a nice guy. He's like, he's always got these props, which is kind of fun, and he's kind of like
margarita
grandpa,
glasses,
right? Like margarita glasses or tubes, and none of the things he's saying make sense at all. But he's kind of like that grandpa you have at Thanksgiving, who's just like fun to talk to.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, grandpa, you know, that sort of thing. I've talked to him a few times and always had a good time. And to his credit, he'll say sometimes when he says he doesn't know something, perhaps not as often as he should, but I got to give props where I can, you know? So I just think he's just a genuinely cuddly, nice guy.
Yeah. Oh, so there's a discussion about Celsius and Fahrenheit. I'll say only one thing in favor of Fahrenheit. I do like that the fact that the range between 0 and 100 is all a range of temperatures that humans are likely to encounter in their environment, and that range of numbers is easy for a human to comprehend, so it maps pretty well to like the kinds of temperatures you as a human experience, as opposed to Celsius, which is like, so I've heard this, like, okay, Celsius is like asking water how hot it is. Fahrenheit is like asking a human how hot it is. And humans versus water have very different temperature ranges at which they start to feel significant differences to their what's going on.
And what's Kelvin in that?
Oh, that's how
Kelvin is asking the universe how hot it
yeah,
is.
basically, or maybe atoms or something. Hey, random atom of hydrogen, how hot are you? That's for Kelvin.
So hot.
Yeah, and what is it? What's the Fahrenheit-based one that goes to 0 for absolutely, like Rankine or something? It's
Rankine.
Completely worthless.
Yeah.
Dumb. Just use Kelvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having done heat-related conversions between imperial and metric, F imperial, just throw it away. I never want to see it ever again.
Look, there are a lot of great arguments, and it is much better for measuring most things. But I don't think it's always better for measuring the weather. Or at least communicating the weather to random humans who don't care too much about the science and just want to know what to wear outside.
Screw those random humans.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. Look, I'm not
I'll
here
just
to
say,
like,
I'll just say that a parenting win for me is that my older daughter, my younger daughter is too young to,
right,
numbers. But my older daughter, she like knows Celsius. So like we'll be like, what's the temperature like? And I'll be like, well, it's 10 today. And she'll be like, oh, it's a little cold. It's like, yeah.
Nice.
And that's a parenting win for me.
No, I mean, I do think it's
really
a good idea for people to know Celsius and be able to use it. I usually can go between them pretty quickly. But like, I think there's something to be said for the idea that like the difference between, say, 74 degrees and 76 degrees is a noticeable difference to me as a person who lives in an environment that could have those two temperatures. And I don't need to go to fractional like degrees in order to express that. So I like that. It's just a personal thing for me that for temperatures I experience as a person, I find it's a more useful scale.
If I'm going to reference...
You're an ectotherm though, right?
That's mesotherm. True. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Fair enough.
All right. So we're not actually here to talk about the merits,
few
though they may be, of the
fine.
imperial system.
Fine.
So, so McQueen was our runner-up, and with only one more vote at 16 votes.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's tight.
It's our one tight race. Anyone here could have made it a tie, or could have just won it for McQueen. But our runner-up is Todd Wood, which I think is a reasonable choice. One of the things I like about Todd Wood is that he doesn't pretend that evolution is a theory in crisis, or that there's no evidence, or that, oh guys, we've got the evolutionists on the run. Give us 10 years and it'll all be like, no, he knows that none of that is true. And also, he's willing to occasionally take the data that he gets from his admitted, well, not admitted by him, but admitted by me, very flawed methods, but then just be like, well, that's what I got. So I guess like Australopithecus sediba or whatever it was is a human, because they clustered in with my humans in my baraminology study, and he's just like,
I appreciate him because he, you said he's not one of the ones that claims that evolution is a theory in crisis. He specifically wrote a piece called "Evolution, Not a Theory in Crisis," which earned him a lot of flack from.
Oh, he gets so much flack. I know I know of a bunch of creationists who hate Todd Wood.
Yeah, because he has the nerve to say, one, evolution is actually pretty good, and find another young earther that says that. And then two, he also says, and he's not the only one that says this, but he also says that as young earth creationists, it's our responsibility to build a model that works. And we're working on it, but we're not there yet.
Imagine the idea that in a scientific endeavor, you would want to actually build a internally consistent model that makes useful and confirmed predictions.
Which, I understand why they don't. I mean, some probably believe it. Some people are more that are perhaps more cynical, understand that it's a better selling point if you don't. But it seems to me like if your goal is actually to seek truth, you're lying to people by saying that evolution is a theory in crisis. And if they ever break through your echo chamber, they're going to find out, oh, nobody who's informed of this topic thinks it's in crisis at all.
Yeah, no.
Why is it that every single expert on the planet disagrees with you? Yeah. Maybe
it's because Bill Gates pays us to disagree with you.
So here's the thing though. My Bill Gates check hasn't come in yet, guys, and it's been a while.
Waiting on mine too. Waiting on mine.
Oh, you
that
want
guy's
to?
terrible at paying bills. That's
all right.
I haven't gotten my evolution check. I haven't gotten my vaccine check. I haven't gotten any of my Bill Gates money.
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna call Cindy at HR, and I'll see what she has for us.
See if we can kind of get the.
Maybe I can put you guys in a conference call with her, because she's got to have some answers as to where our shill checks are.
Come on, I'm out here doing this work,
right?
Billing for a theory in crisis.
I'm lying to everyone I talk to.
Yeah.
I know that everything I say is false. I have come on. You gotta tell me something. You
have to be compensated. You have to be compensated for the anguish that you feel.
Right.
Exactly. Look, it's not easy to get up here and just be deeply dishonest to everyone you talk to, Andrew Snelling. So I want my shill check.
Yeah.
I only say that because in a paper talking about how there are no cracks in these folded sediments, and he shows pictures of the sediments in question, where he places his students in front of the cracks so you can't see them, but then you search for the same formation in other papers that aren't by Andrew Snelling, and suddenly, oh my goodness, there's a big crack there. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah.
And it's like that one where, I know we didn't have a category for most dishonest, but he would win it in my book because it's blatant. Anyway,
that'd be a good category for next year.
So can I just say one thing with this best? What was the exact term for this category? Best overall, whatever it was.
Yeah, best overall.
Best overall. So I want to throw in kind of, obviously it's late. We closed the nominations and voting and everything.
Next
We've already
year.
awarded it, but I do want to, it would actually happen now. So this is kind of a nomination for the future. I want to actually throw out consideration down the road for everybody for Rebecca at Bread of Life, because she has done some really interesting conversations lately that have, like Todd Wood, gotten her in trouble with a lot of the other young earth community.
Yep.
Including a recent thing that was really interesting. Basically, it was kind of a thing about how Christians can and should be LGBT plus affirming, which was unexpected.
I was not expecting that.
Very welcome. And
I linked to it in my
caught a lot of very rude flack, and that's putting it lightly, from other people.
Yeah. Also, I have to say,
that impressed me.
Just yesterday, I got some very, very lovely emails from Rebecca just checking in, because I'd stopped by her stream and she was just like, you know what, I'm shooting Dapper some nice checking in emails, seeing how things are going. So yeah, I definitely think that she would be likely in the running for next year. Now, I actually think a lot of the stuff that we're talking about happened this year. So I think that actually,
hmm
because it happened either
Yeah, that
last
was
month or
recent.
this month, that would
Yeah,
actually very much count for next year.
it would be for next year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Silver Harlow for $5 says, "What are these Fahrenheit and Celsius units you speak of? Temperature comes in freedom degrees and communism degrees. FNC. This is true.
It's true.
Yeah, this
True.
is the a
Yeah,
valid
true.
correction.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is true.
I apologize, and yeah, I don't know. I have no excuse. I should have known better. So let's see. What else do we want to say about Todd Wood? He does seem like he's a personable guy. Like, I've never seen him be mean to anyone that I can think of. Lots of people are mean to him, which that makes
Yeah, I
me.
haven't seen. Yeah, he doesn't get into the mudslinging that you see. You know,
Unlike,
is nice.
say, Rob Carter, who liked to just one day just write this vitriolic screed about you and Erica, and then I got to mention, except he got the wrong Dapper Dino in there.
He doxed the wrong Dapper Dino. He got into Joshua Swamidas for no good reason. because
Wasn't
it was
even
completely
connected.
unrelated to the topic.
Just left turn.
It's just like, and I'm going to complain about this guy for 3
And
paragraphs.
while
but
I'm
nope.
here, you know,
Right.
you know who else sucks?
By the way,
Basically.
Jay Rathage says no love for Rankine. No, we talked about Rankine. It's the worst. It's completely worthless.
Oh.
There is
You-
no
you
good
just-
reason to ever use Rankine.
Jordan, you joke, but that was literally, it was like, why I'm angry at Dan and Guts at Gibbon, and also screw this Joshua guy. Now back to Dan and Erica.
Wait,
It was
screw
like,
him.
what?
In particular.
Wasn't that where you gained the appellation botherer of creationists?
Troubler
Of
the
creationists.
world.
Of the creation
Troubler
world.
of the creation world.
Which, by the way,
which is
You should add that like to your official title in any like if you're ever introduced at like a
in my
black
Twitter
tie
bio.
ball by like some butler, make sure that he gets that in the title. That now
It's in my Twitter
introducing
bio.
Troubler of
in
Young
your
Earth
email
Creationism,
signatures.
Dr. Daniel Stern Cardinal.
Troubler of the creation
Like,
world.
Right.
like on your syllabus when you're listing your qualifications.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, associate teaching professor,
Hey,
Division of Life Sciences, Trouble of the Creation World. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
If you ever wanted like a fancy like coat of arms or anything, that might be a fun thing to put up there and just like have it up
like
on
it.
your desk or something. Just
I like
Troubler of
that.
Young Earth
That's good.
Creationism.
Yeah. Yeah, remember a bunch of years ago when people were doing the Game of Thrones sigils? That
Mhm.
was like the thing you could make online. Yeah, so you do that.
Yeah. Troubler of was it
Yeah.
creationists?
The creation world.
Oh, the creation world. That's even better. That sounds much fancier. My goodness.
Yeah. Very, very highbrow.
You know what?
Right.
Rob Carter, thank you, because that's great.
Thank you.
That might be one of my favorite little like tidbits to come out of. Is that creation.com?
It was creation.com.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, we're getting some conversion rates. Apparently 20 quid equals a squid. So, because it's a score of quid, so that makes sense to me.
Or
Okay,
squid. Okay.
Oh,
I'm in.
I buy
Cheshire
that.
Vic has informed me, who's also V from the Non Sequitur show, that if/when Dan is ever on Non Sequitur, she'll be putting that in his name tag. Troubler of the creation world.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's awesome.
There we go.
I would expect nothing less. It's kind of like when I went on Paul N's channel and my little tagline for like who am I was Dapper Dino, and then I had noted theropod because I'm
Noted theropod.
Noted
That's
theropod.
fantastic.
There you go.
You're
I-
a noted theropod.
I think I like Jackson Wheat's one better when he was on Vice Rhino's channel because it was like Jackson Wheat, whale penis expert.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was also pretty good. Because,
Yes.
in case you guys don't know, at one point Jackson was cajoled into making a fairly long video all about whale penises, which is actually a pretty interesting video. Look, reproductive structures in animals are interesting. They do weird things. There's all sorts of weirdness going on. Like, lizards have two? Yeah, no, you probably didn't.
Look, if you're going to be the animal phylogenetics and evolution guy and have an encyclopedic knowledge at your fingertips like Jackson does,
Mhm.
then you know what? That comes with
Well,
some baggage,
except when
which is you may occasionally have to talk about whale penises.
he does also occasionally mix up Spiralia and Ecdysozoa, so
That's unacceptable.
yeah.
Not allowed.
So Jackson,
We're not. Jackson,
we're not gonna let you live
if
that
you ever
down.
do that in my presence, We can't be friends anymore.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
My goodness.
Spiralian Ecdysis. How dare you?
Do you know what those two are? Could you name a Spiralian?
Oh, the gauntlet just got thrown. Oh,
is Mollusca Spiralia?
You're gonna have to just guess, and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
I think Mollusca are because Spiralia aren't even in, because there's Ecdysozoa, and then there used to be Lophotrochozoa, and then Lophotrochozoa is not a thing anymore. And I think Mollusca are Spiralia.
So is that what you're going with?
I'm gonna go with Mollusca.
Okay. Congratulations.
Am I right?
That is correct. Mollusks
yeah.
are Spiral. So good job.
Close. Getting hot in here.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you're going to make fun of Jackson Wheat for not actually, but kind of mixing those two up, you're going to have to know what you're talking about.
Look. It's true.
Yeah,
Those
it's true.
in glass
and
houses,
you have a
man.
tree of life
Glass
behind
house,
you.
look, hoist, but you know what? It's not my petard up there. We're good.
That's right. That's right.
And now we probably confused virtually everyone because no one in the world knows what Spiralia is. It's a clade, guys. It's a clade.
Well, because everyone learned Lophotrochozoa, but that's not an official group anymore.
I'm sorry, no, not everyone learned Lophotrochozoa. People who went to school for biology learned Lophotrochozoa. Very few people ever did that, Dan. I didn't even do that.
I can say with a high degree of confidence, I have never heard that word before today. Or right now.
Yeah. Look, the cladistics and phylogenetics joke have a very narrow range of people for whom those are funny, and you and I are in it, Dan, but virtually everyone else is not. Okay, so I want to say,
Andrew, actually, Dapper, can I just say that Andrew just said, because he knows this better than I do, Spiralia is annelids, mollusks, flatworms, rotifers. So in my class right now, we're using, our textbook is 2 or 3 years old, the edition we're using. And it still has Lophotrochozoa, but the 4 phyla that we use to describe Lophotrochozoa are Annelida, Mollusca, Platyhelminthes, flatworms, and Rotifera. And there you go. So that's Spiralia now. So they're close. There's some members of Lophotrochozoa that I'm guessing are not in Spiralia.
Yeah, I think some of them shifted into Ecdysozoa.
Did some of them shift? And maybe there's a third group in there?
You know,
because a lot of Ecdysozoa is deuterostome, but Spiralia presumably is named so because they do protostome development with spiral. But
they have spiral cleavage in the blastula, which is also how you get things like torsion easily. It's weird how torsion only ever evolves in mollusks. Yeah, there's a reason for that.
It's weird. Weird. It's almost like it make.
Yeah. It's almost like
sense.
Commonality in embryological development also corresponds to things like common adult morphology trends.
So weird how that works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's now that we've alienated everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Except Andrew, apparently.
That's why Andrew's one of the good old boys who's right here for all that protostome discussion. So to sum up, guys, because we've gone through all of our winners and runners up. So, in case you guys weren't here for it at the beginning, because I know more people have joined, our runner-up for worst argument was George Bond, everybody's favorite goofy uncle who doesn't make any sense, but he's lovable anyway.
No.
McQueen. Oh, no, that was McQueen.
That was McQueen.
Oh, yeah,
He's nominated
you're right.
for that one. But
George Bond is the crazy
one. If we hadn't split the votes on that, that one might have won.
That's true, because they had the same argument. I forgot about that.
It was the same argument attributed to 2 people. Yeah.
My bad on that one. Okay, but Raw Matt was our actual winner because Raw Matt has never heard an argument so bad that he rejected it for that reason. He's only ever rejected arguments because they don't argue in favor of his pre-drawn conclusion. Only reason.
Yeah.
Let's see. So for worst behaved, our runner-up was Rob Carter for the scree that we mentioned, which was just
so good.
It was wonderful. Oh, actually, no, he was our third place. Our runner-up was Monkey for Banana.
That's right.
Monkey for Banana for his 2-day-long benders of vitriolic abuse hurled via text at any and all targets available. But our winner, of course, for worst behaved, yes, was Kent Hovind for the actual conviction for domestic violence, because you get convicted of a serious crime.
You're the worst.
Yeah.
Pretty much a shoe-in.
That's the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, some like white collar crime, like, oh, he bilked some rich people out of some extra money.
It's
No.
not like he spent decades cheating on his taxes and spent 7 years in federal prison for oh wait.
Yeah, he did do that, but that doesn't count for this.
That doesn't count because
That
it
was
wasn't
years
this year.
up until recently. As far as the law was concerned, he was keeping his nose clean. But then he decided to body slam Cindy Lincoln. And also put the audio recording of the event all over the internet as if it was exculpatory, which is...
As if it would help, and it's horrifying.
Yeah. You listen to that, and it... Is that enough to convict him on its own? No. But you listen to that audio, which I'm not going to play on the channel. That's not going to happen. For one thing, I'm friends with Cindy, and I'm not going to have that incident of her life on my channel. But the other one is, it's just disturbing. I am not very happy to have listened to it. But yeah, it doesn't make him look any better. Let's see. So that was Worst Behaved. Best Overall. Nominated, but not runner-up, was Jonathan Guzman, because, I mean, he's basically just been a friendly guy.
Fine.
Yeah.
Friendly. Pleasant. Happy to chat. Yeah.
I mean, once we exclude Sal and we only have 3 nominations, that's the bar for Best Overall Creation. Is just like, to get the nomination, be like an okay guy. That's it. That's all you got to do. Because so many of them are so much worse. And our runner-up for Best Overall was McQueen, who is, in fact, everyone's lovable, goofy, and nonsensical grandpa.
Yep.
And then our actual winner, because, of course, like I said, we didn't have Sal in here because he got our S tier on our Creationist tier list and, got it mixed up, was Todd Wood for basically being willing to take flack from other creationists for saying things that are true, and also for following his data. Even if his methods are flawed, he's at least willing to follow his data and not just be like, nope, I'm going to erase that number just because it doesn't go with my conclusions that, genus Australopithecus is just an ape kind and genus Homo is the human kind and we can't have any mixing. Of course, I've challenged a few creationists about baraminology. My question about baraminology is, let's say evolution is true. There's universal common ancestry. How would that change the outcome of your baraminology studies? So far, I haven't heard anything back, which to me is a little concerning.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, because, if you can't use baraminology to distinguish between common descent universally versus separate ancestry, then it's not actually doing what creationists want it to do, which is to identify where common ancestry stops. All it's doing is identifying that you have different groups that are separated by enough time and morphological change that they no longer appear to be directly connected by morphological intermediates, which, that being the case, is a prediction of evolution when you combine it with the fact that species go extinct. That's all it takes.
And they're still connected by genetic intermediates.
Yeah. And, they're usually connected by fossil morphological intermediates.
That too. Yep.
So, yeah, so let's do a little bit of talk about what we expect in the upcoming year. So I do think that there's a very high chance that Rebecca will, at the very least, get a nomination for Best Overall Creationist, because
that'll be a nomination.
Yeah.
Though, because Sal will now be in the running again.
It's gonna be a tight competition. Yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Get nominations. I think Jeanson will be in the running for Worst Argument. Actually, man, I don't know if he's made that
he has a new book that came out, didn't he?
Frog embryo argument recently, but if he does, then that's definitely in the running for Worst Argument. But he has a book about to come out or just came out. It's coming out
this
soon.
year.
I'm going to get it as soon as I can. It's this year. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a lot of really bad human evolutionary genetics in there. And I think that's definitely going to be in the running for Worst Argument. And I'm really excited to
remember, Dan, he's made testable predictions that he hasn't bothered to test, and that when other people have tested, it turns out that he was wrong. But hey, he made testable predictions. And as we all know, just making the prediction, that's the gold standard. Who cares if you're actually right about the prediction? Right. That's meaningless.
That's the gold standard of science, is saying, hey, here's what I think is going to happen. That's it.
Done.
That's it. You don't have to go any further. You're good. You're done.
Gold medal right there. You did science, guys.
So I'm looking forward to Jeanson getting a nomination for worst argument, and I think he's also potentially a dark horse for worst use of the English language.
Oh, because I'm
Depending on if there's equivocation in that book, I think he's a dark horse in that category.
Okay, because I'm actually expecting Monkey for Banana to just run away with worst use of the English language, because like we said, he and Raw Matt are a pair, and they're just as bad with that.
Are they?
So he gets a lot of spillover.
Yeah.
Are they going to come out with another like 6 PDF-based books this year?
I mean, why wouldn't they? It takes them almost no effort to make them, and some people buy them.
For what I'm predicting, because the Raw Mat's not available for the categories he won in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But George Bond and Monkey for Banana didn't win, so they're both still in the running.
Eligible.
I feel extremely confident that they will come out with something, some new version of something that will be worthy of nomination. I don't know if they'll win.
New?
I feel well, something they at least say in the next year.
As long as they advocate for it.
New.
Something they weren't nominated for.
Look,
I feel
if
like
we had to go for
lame.
new creationist arguments, we would have to have like of the decade awards at best.
Yeah, because there isn't
like new variations or whatever, right? But I'm gonna say, even though I expect to see them, I don't expect them to win, because I think they're just kind of like a plateau. They just kind of
replacement level parroting talking points. Yeah.
Right.
Now here's one that is a little out of left field that I was thinking about though. And if it continues to be argued for this year, I was thinking maybe Finding Truth for his argument that no animal behaviors are instinctual and they have no genetic component. They're just God directly telling animals what to do.
That's definitely wrong. That is definitely wrong.
Well, and it's one of his favorite arguments.
Because if you think about it, no, because God can do whatever he wants, right? How can you possibly test that God isn't telling the fly to shit on my food? How can you test that?
I think it's lay eggs on your food.
Whatever he's doing, I don't know.
Tide comes in, tide goes out. You can explain that.
Never a miscommunication.
How do they work?
We have a couple things I want to read from the chat. The first one is My Infinite Journey says, should we call the best overall the Sal Cordova Award? I actually considered it. First, I would want to know how Sal would feel about that, and I would want to know how everyone else feels about it.
You know what we could do if we could maybe suspend the 2 in a row thing for best overall, and if a person wins 2 in a row, they get retired, and it's like they're the
every award now. But Jordan, every award will be the Raw Matt worst use of the English language award, the Raw Matt worst argument. Every award.
Yeah,
maybe we just do it for best. Just do it for the best.
So here's the other thing with best is, and this is just like a thing in my head, is that I don't think you should name things after living people. Sal, nothing personal. You never know. You never know.
Look, there's good arguments to be made on that, both superstitious and not. Also, there's a reason that there are certain astronomical bodies whose surface features are named after real people. For instance, surface features on Venus are named after historical women. But there's a time limit. They have to have been dead for quite a while before you can even... Yeah, basically.
You got to get all the skeletons out of the closet
and
first.
The reason is because, like, if you want to name some crater on the surface of Venus after a woman who died, like, 10 years ago, I mean... And it's going to be, like, someone famous, right? Like some politician or something. There's probably a whole bunch of people who absolutely hate that person for justified reasons. So just cool it.
Potentially, yeah. So, can I actually suggest an award for subsequent years that we might want to consider?
Since none of this matters, you can do almost anything.
The most improved.
Oh,
we're suggesting most improved award.
Okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine there'll be significant overlap with best overall, right?
Maybe,
possibly,
maybe, because I think most improved would necessarily have to have a longer view. It wouldn't be restricted to the previous year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they improved this year, but it takes into account
relative
how bad they were before. Yeah.
Years. Right.
So, for instance, if like if Raw Matt just decided to clean up his act, be a decent guy, and apologize for all the fraud this year, he would still be colossally ignorant about almost everything, but that'd be a big improvement.
What if Kent Hovind donned a hair shirt and marched through the streets of the city with someone behind him ringing a bell? Shame, shame. You know how that.
So the thing is, I don't know to what degree that modifies his behavior. So it would have to be something he would do. Oh, I would pay money for that to happen. If
It's
that were
like
a reasonable
penance.
thing.
Yeah, like
like,
yeah.
Like
he has to, what's
penance.
the Jordan? What's he has to meet his toe? Is that the
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he has obligation.
He has toe, and he has to yeah.
So we're coming up on when we're going to close it up, but I do want to say Robert Atzett said frog embryo argument, and that was in reference to Jeanson.
Oh,
why don't we do a quick rundown of this, because it is.
Can I just show the figure?
Oh
Can
my
I just
goodness.
show the figure?
Yeah,
Because-
sure. If you have.
Oh my god, it's
screen share.
so I'm just gonna.
Dan came
little-
prepared with
little-
like sources and slides and whatnot.
little shit. Look, I have all my creationist sources like at my fingertips. Every good by which I mean terrible
Bad. Yeah.
article, I just immediately download that sucker as
Nice.
PDF, and it's first author, last name, year, short description of what it is. So I got everything in my fingertips.
Starting to run low on
This-
hard drive space, because if you're downloading every bad creationist article, there's
I
a
got to.
whole lot of that.
Well, fun fact: they don't do that much scholarship. So even if I get all of them, there's not that.
Oh, that's a good point. And actually, I want to
All
point
right, so let me show
out a fan of the channel sent me a new hard drive not that long ago from my Amazon wish list. It's a 6 terabyte hard drive, which to put it mildly, that saved me from a whole lot of hard drive space problems that was staring me in the face.
Terabytes. That's
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Okay.
So,
Oh my goodness.
thank
So
you.
this is if this was 2016. This was Jeanson and Lyle. If it was
Mhm.
2021, I would have nominated this for worst argument. This is I did a recent video, a little shameless self-promotion. I recently did a video called Nathaniel Jeanson Thinks You're Stupid. This
Mhm.
is the dead to rights. He has zero respect for his audience and he thinks everyone is stupid because he's talking about rates of evolution post-flood speciation, hyperevolution rates. And he basically says, well, look, it's totally reasonable to think that all of the cats, for example, could come from an ancestral felid pair 4,000 years ago, and they could speciate fast enough to have all the cats we see today. That is perfectly reasonable because a frog goes from a zygote to an adult in under 3 years. And that is way more change than from the ancestral cat to all the living cats today. Now, if you think I am being uncharitable in how I am characterizing this argument, I assure you I am not. Because let us scroll to figure 2. There it is.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh,
Development.
oh no.
Speciation.
It's
Look,
right there.
Read this. Read this right there. Okay.
Phenotypic
So-
change on various timescales. The wood frog, Lithobates sylvaticus, develops from a single cell to a sexually mature adult in less than 3 years. Fair. Undergoing massive phenotypic transformation in the process.
That's not phenotypic. That's not what that means.
Really, no.
Not what that means. That's not what that means. Dr. Jeanson, with a PhD from Harvard in cell developmental biology, that's not what phenotype means.
No. By contrast, over the course of 4,365 years, the 37 cat species that exist today arose from a common felid ancestor. A much smaller level of phenotypic change. Well, at least that is phenotypic change.
That actually is phenotypic, yeah.
But, okay, also, I'm going to point out, even if this were a good argument, you don't have 4,365 years, because we know by the Old Kingdom in Egypt, you already had, like, jaguars and
Plus-
lions and
Yeah.
cheetahs.
All there.
Yeah, they're...
Plus you're forgetting the over 100 extinct felids.
Right. So, the
So it's
37
not
cat
37,
species...
It's like 150 at least.
Yeah, you got, like, 400
In,
years.
Like 500. It's like 400 to 500
Yeah.
years.
Well, let's give them, you know what? Let's give them 1,000 years just to be generous, because
Give 1,000.
here we like
5,000
to
years.
just hand out free orders of magnitude to
What is
creationists
the magnitude?
because
Go
they're
for it.
usually
Doesn't
off
work
by
anyway.
6 or 7 of them anyway. So just
Yeah, it
have an
doesn't
extra
matter.
order of magnitude. Just go
I
for
don't
it.
care. I'll give you one for free. You're still
Yeah.
off by 4. I
Yeah.
don't care.
So yeah, even if we just we'll just give them 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Still not even close to enough time.
Yeah. So lest anybody think I'm being uncharitable to Dr. Jeanson, like, there it is.
Also, what's
Right.
that animal
Okay.
on the left? Because it looks like this is a little low res.
It's like a cat. It's like a feral cat, is what it looks like.
Can we zoom in on that?
I can't tell if that's a feral cat or a really skinny panther.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's also just super low res. Okay.
Yeah, you get the ears. I think that's a feral cat.
I think
it
it's
looks
just a
pretty
cat.
small.
I think
Okay.
it's
It looks pretty
cat,
small.
yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's the Jeanson frog development cat argument.
Just amazing. Absolutely
Just
amazing.
That actually, funny story about that. Before we, sorry, we're way out.
We
Whatever.
could do
Who
lifetime
cares?
achievement awards.
So on a thread on Peaceful Science, somebody was talking about like speciation rates or something, and a young Earth creationist, commented on that thread, and this was like last year. As a joke, she wrote in, "Well, humans go from a zygote to a baby in 9 months. That's way more change than what you're talking about. It's fun." Like literally making the same
joke.
argument as a joke, not realizing that Jeanson made exact same argument, but he was doing it for real.
Yeah. And by the way, Brainbug says it looks like a Jaguarundi, and now that you say that, yeah, I can see that being a Jaguarundi. Yeah, that checks out. Which is interesting because at first I thought it might have been a short-eared dog, which would have been hilarious because, not a canine. But no,
same thing.
When you zoomed in on it, I was like, no, the ear shape is wrong, the leg shape is wrong. Like, it's not.
Anyway, so Jeanson makes bad arguments, and I can't wait for Traced, because if that's the standard, which it is, that's about par for the course based on his previous book, Replacing Darwin, which, a little bit self-aggrandizing there, but that's about par for the course. That one is especially bad, but it's within the margin of error for the rest of his work in general. And
love how low the bar is.
I'm really looking forward to Traced.
We have a super chat for $5 from Vandalia 1998 who says, Brainbug and I just finished our stream about wing clades, so now we can cheer for the winners of these awards. Well, at least one of them actually is a winner. That's Todd Wood.
Yeah.
Is it Dr. Wood?
Cheer for. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Wood, if you would like,
I'm like 90% sure.
Email me, and you too can have the 3D file of a Cambrian Bunny Award for yourself to print out. I'll even make sure that your name gets embossed on the little nameplate. You will have to paint it yourself and print it yourself. So,
And if you want, Raw can make it an NFT for you.
There you go. Yeah, Raw can totally mint that on the blockchain, and then you will have a number that says that the number is associated with a URL that has a picture on it for as long as whatever hosting server keeps getting paid to host that JPEG. So
and that is your JPEG, my friend.
It's yours forever.
Well, it's his spot on the blockchain that's associated with that JPEG. Technically, he doesn't gain ownership over the JPEG. And
he gains ownership over that very specific instance of
that
JPEG.
instance of it.
Not even that, because that can get deleted without his permission by this hosting server.
Okay, he has
a spot
ownership
in a line that is associated with a temporary link to a JPEG.
But he owns that temporary link.
No, he owns the spot in line associated with the temporary link. That's what he owns.
Yeah.
It's every time you look into it, NFTs get stupider than you thought they were. It's kind of amazing.
Crypto bros are gonna come down on you now.
Tell you what, crypto bros, if you want to debate me about blockchain technology, it costs 400 Ethereum.
Plus an NFT.
Yeah, plus an NFT.
Of anything.
You gotta get your.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not as long as it's not a virus. Because here's another great thing about NFTs, because technically what they have in them is an executable program, most of which just cause you to link to a JPEG. You can put a virus in there, and if you inject an NFT into someone's wallet, which you can do without their permission, you just send the NFT. They can't get rid of it without sending it to someone else. It doesn't just go away. You can't delete NFTs. So you can just mint a whole bunch of viruses and then virus bomb people with crypto wallets that are on the same blockchain as your NFTs.
That's
one of these days, maybe we should just have a stream about how dumb the entire NFT thing is. Because even though I can imagine use cases for similar technology, the current implementation is just absurdly dumb.
that's the distinction. You can imagine use cases that make sense.
Sure,
As
yeah.
it's implemented right now,
No.
it's a scam.
Oh, yeah.
It's an MLM. It's a scam. It
Optimally
doesn't
done.
make any sense.
Well, it
Icarus
works
says
very
how much
well.
that in Dogecoin. My
It
favorite
works
thing about
very
oh,
well
sorry.
as a money laundering.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my favorite thing about Dogecoin is, so the thing about crypto, right, is it's supposed to be hard to mint new coins, right? Creating
Thanks for coming
new,
to the awards, everybody.
yeah. The
Yeah,
award show
yeah.
is done. Now we're just gonna rant
We're now
about crypto
talking
stuff for a little
crypto.
bit.
Yeah.
Jordan, what's no one on you lately? Who are you mad at?
So Dogecoin, unlike other crypto coins where you actually have to do some kind of work, or at least your computer does, in order to get new ones generated onto the blockchain, Dogecoin can basically just be generated at will. But because Elon Musk, who, well, I'm not saying he's a scammer, but I'm not saying it. Anyway, because he basically just makes a tweet about Dogecoin, which he'd recently acquired a bunch of, suddenly it now has a real price that just jumps up, and then he cashes out of the actual funny money that, while it's not technically as simple as this, you can essentially just add some zeros to your account. Yeah, like, it's...
I'm in. Sounds good to me. I'm in.
It's literally a satire of crypto, like,
I mean,
coins.
it was literally invented as that.
Right. And then
It was
suddenly
invented
it
to make
managed to
fun
get
of them.
itself a price.
It's the springtime for Hitler of crypto, right?
Exactly.
It's just there to make fun of crypto, and yet now it's got a price. So
It's the Springtime for Hitler if then somebody saw that and made Springtime for Hitler the musical, like, and then just ran with it.
Yeah.
With no shred of self-awareness at all.
it's the whole world of crypto. Oh, okay. Apparently, from Vishanti, who has gone and figured out 400 Ethereum is 8,104,689.71 Dogecoin.
0.71.
0.7. It's important.
0.71.
Yeah.
Significant figures.
Right now. Check back in 5 minutes.
Right. Well, so here's another great thing about crypto, right? Crypto blockchains, because they need to reach consensus with a huge majority of the blockchain, like, auditors, which is basically everyone connected and running the application. Transaction times often run for multiple hours. And during that time, the value of your coins, because they're so volatile, can change significantly. So you might be thinking that you're during the transaction. So you might be thinking that you're buying an NFT for, say, $40,000. But when the transaction time is done, that might now have actually cost you the equivalent of $80,000. Well, not 80, but $50,000. Because crypto values go all over the place. They're insanely volatile. And when your transaction time is 2 hours, think about this. That's like, you go to the store and you're like, I would like to buy this sandwich, please. And you put your bank card into the transaction machine, and then it says, okay, in 2 hours, we'll have your money and you can take your sandwich with you. It's crazy. That's why a number of middleman services have appeared to help people actually try to use cryptocurrency as a currency.
Guaranteed stability.
Right. So what you do is you put a portion of your coin into their wallet that they hold in your name, because that's totally not scammy. And then they keep track of the current value, and they use a pool of, real money that they have to do transactions with other companies via credit card networks. And then they charge you a transaction fee and then take it out from your wallet with them to their own company wallet. But a number of them have liquidity issues. They don't actually have the cash on hand to realistically complete all the transactions that people want to use. So, yeah. Look, I don't know why or how this whole thing turned into a rant about how dumb current implementations of cryptocurrency are. Because again, like I said, I can imagine cases where it makes sense in the future with different implementation. But as it stands right now, it's like all those old flying machines from before the Wright brothers, where like you're pedaling a spiral-shaped helicopter blade or something. And it's like, dude, it's just not going to work. Like, stop. Please don't. And then you just run off a cliff with it, and oh, surprise, you crash. Anyway, guys, I'm done talking about crypto. thanks for showing up to the award show.
Which ended like 15 minutes ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was done, but thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Or if you're in one of those places where it's the future, like New Zealand or something, I hope you have a wonderful week because your week is about to start. Yeah, guys, stay safe out there. I'll talk to you guys later. And here is my third version of my February credits because I kept getting it wrong. So here we go. I just want to take a minute to thank my channel members and patrons, especially those pledging $20 or above. Bob Knob, Bent Hovend, Denny5252, Ian Chen, John Ackerman, Chris Love, Landon Noel, Lingwei, Sphincter of Doom, The Venerable Veed, and Patrick Dennis. The people whose names you see on screen right now are a big part of keeping the lights on here at Casa Dino, and without them, this channel really wouldn't exist in the form that it does now. If you'd like to join this awesome team, there are links down in the description to join the channel or to join my Patreon. It starts at only $1 on Patreon or $1.99 here on YouTube. There's also a convenient join button right below this video if you want to join as a member on YouTube. Joining lets you see most of my videos early, in some cases more than a month early. Also, you can join an exclusive member and patron-only Discord server, which has a pretty direct line to me. And as you go up in tier, you get more and more benefits, including getting your name on this list. If a monthly subscription isn't really for you, but you still like to help out the channel, there's a merch store linked in the description. It has t-shirts, it has baby onesies, it has mugs, it has blankets, anything you want, Dapper Dino branded. And if none of that seems right for you, please just like and share my videos and subscribe to the channel. That helps immensely. Thank you very much.